What's going on, boys and girls of YouTube? My name is Roundedtiktak. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Gumshoe, but before we get into the video, because you know I gotta have my preamble, did you guys know, I didn't know personally, being a veteran player or whatever the hell you want to call me, I did not know that you can use hero vouchers on the Art Deco heroes. Now, I didn't know this, my stream didn't know this, one person in my stream did, so I'm bringing that information to you now. I did not know that was the thing. Now, I also know that not many people have any hero vouchers left. Being a veteran player, I have all of mine, but I finally spent one on Gumshoe because out of all four of those heroes, that's the one I really wanted to try. And when I opened up my 5 Art Deco llamas that I spent, what, 1,500 V-Bucks on, I got the ninja. And guess what? She, the robot, I'm not sure what it is, isn't very good. And trust me, I tried to make it good. But Gumshoe, on the other hand, is pretty damn interesting. Perhaps, may I even say, one of the best Outlanders in the game, especially in support, making teddies be able to do content at level 140, which is something previously they weren't really able to do, which is pretty nice. In this video, we're going to show you a couple of builds, 3 of them I have in mind. I have them all set up. I have all the footage ready to go. So let's jump into it. This is going to be a video about the Noir Gumshoe. I don't know why I said it like that. So Gumshoe, the new Outlander that we get from the Art Deco set. Who knows when they're actually going to get released? I have no idea. But if you like playing Outlanders, this is definitely someone you have to have. There's a couple of misconceptions with this hero that even I was confused about, and Mago had to explain it to me, and he learned through Leaf. I don't know, but regardless. So there are some things here that are going on, and to be completely honest, sadly, she's not worth it to use as a commander. She's just not, sadly. But as a support, for an Outlander, she's core. Not even like, oh, you might want to use her. She is 100% in your builds every single time, because the way the standard perk is worded makes you think one thing, but it's really actually something else. What is her perk? Pressing charges increases damage of your fragment abilities by 30%. Her commander perk, and the reason why it's not the best, is increases damage of your fragment abilities by 30%. Additionally, grants 33% chance not to consume charged fragment. Now, the reason that you're not using her as a commander is because that 33% chance to just get an extra 10% cooldown really isn't worth it. And there are better heroes that you can bring as a main. But the crazy part about this thing is when you first read this, or when I first read it and my chat first read it, increase damage of your fragment abilities by 30%. What it does not say is increases the damage of your fragment abilities while having a fragment. You do not need a fragment to get this 30% damage, which is what I originally thought and my stream originally thought. All you need is nothing. You just get base bonus 30% damage every single time you use a teddy or a shock tower. And that's doing on average from like 32,000 to 38,000 damage per shot. And if you have a certain build, you have a 6-second downtime, which for teddy, which is busted. And that teddy's hitting for anywhere between 38,000 up to 54,000 per shot on a 40-second long ability. She's incredible in certain builds. I'm going to show you 3, so let's get right into them now. So first we're going to talk about Trailblazer Quinn, but before we get into that, let me just explain what picking up a charge fragment does. A charge fragment gives you 10% cooldown reduction on any ability that takes a charge fragment. That's all it does. It doesn't give you any bonus damage, nothing. It used to, and that's why people get confused with certain heroes, used to give you bonus damage. But Berserker, you guys know that it gives you 46% damage and extra fire rate. You're not really going to get more consistent damage out of any Outlander besides her. She always hits the same amount no matter what it is, and it's very, very good damage. but there are better Outlanders specifically for harder content. If you're looking at anything 124 and above, this is actually not the character you're going to want, because there's a difference between sustained damage and burst damage and DPS versus whatever. There's a difference between uptime, downtime. There's a better character, but this build is one that I did try. Happy holidays, of course. Fragment generation, you don't really need this. I just wanted to, have it in the build. 39 eliminations, a little rough, not gonna lie. Pressing charges, 30% extra damage at all times. Bear with me for the extra 4 seconds. Bear stare, I personally like bear stare, especially with under warranty, because when this switches and switches targets, if it's the same time as the bear stare, it can crit. If you happen to bring subwoofers, you can get that damage up to like 400,000 damage for every bear stare. It's kind of crazy, but this is the build that I happen to run. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad at all, but there are better builds. The second build I tried was a wild fragment shock tower only build. This was one of the best builds in the game for a very, very short period of time. He's an incredible character and very, very underrated. His downtime is like 3 seconds. It's kind of nuts to be able to throw another shock tower. Static Cling, what it does exactly is it creates an affliction for 150% damage. You guys know the scaling in this game, and you take a look at something like Bladestorm Enforcer, whose base scaling is 4. This is 149%. So it's decent at the start regardless. Happy holidays for increased cooldown, of course. This time we're taking space technology, pressing charges for, again, 30% bonus damage. Plasma arc, because what this build is doing is this build kills all of the little guys. However, this build also does have a caveat. You guys can see in the gameplay footage, things are dying so fast that the shock tower doesn't even get all its shots off and it just disappears, because it's doing so much damage to all the little husks, and then there's nothing else to chain to. The caveat here being healer husks. Healer husks are the antithesis of dot damage, which is what affliction damage is. So if there is a healer husk around, you're really not going to be able to show off or do the amount of damage that you really should be. Also, to take note that shock tower is piss poor on doing any kind of damage to smashers or bosses or mini bosses or anything like that. Even with this incredible AoE build, doing damage to an actual mist monster or a smasher is terrible, if I'm being completely honest. But you can be the guy that just, kills all the little stuff. That's completely fine. Up the voltage again for just more bonus damage, and then subwoofers. What happens here is every time you eat a subwoofer and then drop your shock tower, you get the bonus damage. Shock tower doesn't last very long, so you're getting basically the full bonus damage for the entirety that it's up, or pretty close to it. This build is actually a lot of fun to use. I would recommend it for anything. You can see in the footage, we're crushing the content. In this clip specifically, or in this video specifically, we didn't build any traps. We made a couple of tunnels, but no traps. And we held down the whole thing by just using Outlanders. All 4 of us were using Outlanders. They're pretty strong at the moment. The last build I want to talk to you about, and definitely the best late game build, because the argument here again is uptime versus damage. This build right here will keep you with fragments at all times, almost all times. So you will have a 10% cooldown reduction on your Teddy every single time. When you drop your Teddy with this build and you have a fragment, you have a 6-second downtime between when you can throw another Teddy. 6 seconds. That's it. It's pretty ridiculous. Your shock tower is up every 4 seconds, I believe, with fragments. Overbearing we have here. So what you're going to do in this build specifically is, let's hypothetically say, like in the footage here, we were doing an encampment. You place your Teddy in the back, you phase shift in, you drop your shock tower, you phase shift out. You wait 4 seconds, and then you have your shock tower again, and you do it again and again and again and again. And it really destroys these encampments, at least in this footage. The 140, we're in a 140 encampment mission with super encampments, no shooting at all, and we were able to kill the entire camp with 4 Teddies and like 6 shock towers. It's actually a pretty strong build. Teddies used to not be able to do this at 140, and it's really cool that an Outlander build due to some of the new heroes and changes here, are viable now. So we have overbearing. We place the Teddy far away. Bear with me for an extra 4 seconds. Pressing charges for extra 30% damage. Berserker for another 30%. So we're at 60% here. And then the crit chance, 100% crit chance at 5%. The build is ridiculous. Your uptime is out of control. If you have any traps, you will 100% have a fragment at all times. Even without traps, if you're doing a defense mission, you just do so much AoE damage and you tag so many enemies so quickly that you will get credited for the kills and be able to get fragments. These are the builds that I tried out. Gumshoe, sadly, even though she's a super cool looking character, isn't really worth it as a main, but she's definitely 100% core in any Outlander Teddy build that you're trying to do. Remember, you do not need a charge fragment to get her 30% bonus damage. It is inherent regardless, even if you play her in support. Where are you not going to use that if you're playing an Outlander build? It's really, really strong. That's what I think about Gumshoe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. If you want to come to the stream, twitch.tv/roundedtiktak. We would love for you to stop by. If you want to support the channel in any way, you can always use creator code OOTIKTAKOO. I have it in my description. I say it at the end of every video, and yet there's always one person asking what the creator code is. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. Tic Tac out. I'm such a dork.